My name is Monica Gleberman, and you're listening to Silence on Set Podcast. On today's podcast, we're talking to Matt Linz, who is an American actor best known for playing Henry in AMC's television series The Walking Dead, and more recently, Bruno Corelli in Disney Plus's miniseries Mrs. Marvel. So to talk a bit about his career, how he got started into acting, and of course what led him on two of the biggest shows in history, here is the one and only Matt Linz. So, like I was saying, I'm so excited to have the Matt Linz on here, who I spoke to your sister. It's like a famous family here.
No, not a famous family. And you call me the Matt Linz. I like that. I've never been called the Matt Linz.
You're the Matt Linz. Like, I mean, it's amazing. But well, it's kind of a famous family. You have like your mom was in acting, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Sister, and then you. And then there's two other siblings that made a go for it and then decided like, oh, I'm going to do something smarter.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's the whole spiel, because what we always used to say is everyone in the family was an actor except my dad, and he's the only sane one. But Madison probably said that. We said that all the time, but no. The youngest one is pursuing golf now, so he's going to college, full ride for golf, and then the oldest one's about to be a lawyer. And then the middle, me and Madison are kind of just playing pretend. So
I thought it very interesting, but yeah. So you are the famous family. So I think you should call yourself that all the time. The Matt Linz. You could walk around and tell everybody that.
Gosh, I don't know how that would
go. So amazing. So for anyone listening to this, if you haven't heard of Matt, or you're like, what is she talking about? If you check out on our podcast list, by the time this comes out, Madison would have come out. And if you were not aware, Madison was the little child in the very beginning of The Walking Dead. And ultimately, Matt ended up on The Walking Dead, and they both ended up into acting. So they're siblings, but we did them separate because, they're adults and they're cool, and we have separate stories. So yeah. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go check her out. And her interview is really cool, what she's up to. And now
don't go check her out. Don't go check her out.
And now you'll just know that he has a sister, and that's who we mean when we say Madison. So you could just
exactly.
Because he was years later.
Years later. No, it was originally it was her in seasons 1 and 2, and then Max and the youngest came on the show. 7, 8, and then a little bit of season 9, and then they aged it up, and they're like, "Hey, you have an older brother, Maxon, right?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Can we use him?" And then I kind of got lucky into that spiel. So yeah.
Well, I have a question to ask you related to that about the two. For it. Well, I'll get to that one because I want to see what you say if it differs from her. But so,
okay. Oh gosh, what did she say?
No pressure, I promise. No, it's a really like a simple question, but I'm interested. I want to start out really quickly though. So all of you guys started out super young. So you started out in 2011, and when I was doing research, I found out that I think one of the first things that you did was Army Wives, and you were in like an episode of that.
Oh.
So
it's.
How
keep on.
Okay, no, it's okay. So like this is what I don't understand. And I asked your sister the very same question because you guys both started very young. How do you like comprehend like Army Wives, A Cinderella Story, Once Upon a Song, Level Up? These are all in like 2011. So you're like how old? You're young.
I was young, maybe 10.
Then you do A Smile as Big as the Moon, like the following year. I wrote some of these things down because I was going to forget. Piranha 3DD, What to Expect When You're Expecting, Revolution, Banshee. So now we're getting into 2013. So I'm going to stop at 2013 because I feel like then you start understanding what you're doing. But before 2013, if you're that young, do you know what the hell's going on, or
what you just listed? I don't know what the hell's going on there either. So people ask me all the time, like, what my first thing is. I don't know. Like, I don't remember any. Like, all of that is blended into one big like sphere now. So I think my first ever thing was actually a independent film called The Way Home with Dean Cain. And I was even way younger then. I think I was 6 or 7. And then I did Halloween 2 when I was like 8. And then I did all those TV shows and the movies like around. Like, I couldn't tell you. I don't know, like I don't know what Madison said, but it's hard to like figure out where I was. Like I don't even know what I ate yesterday for dinner. Like that's kind of where I am, like wavelength wise.
Well, I know it's crazy, and you're right. I left off. You were in the Crazies. You were in Halloween 2. Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Halloween 2. Now I'm like thinking, it's blurring for me too. I don't know how you guys keep track of this stuff.
Yeah.
It was the first thing I think on your list, and then you had like, because I was like, oh, he's in horror movies, and then I was like,
you were saying some shows I forgot about, or movies like Level Up and the Crazy, like all that stuff I forgot about.
I know, well, because you're so young, and Memphis Beat, I think was
I remember. I love that one. That is actually something I do remember a lot, because the cast and the crew on that were so nice. Literally from day one on that, it was amazing. I think we shot that down in Louisiana. And all I remember is I had a blast. And on the last day of set, or my rap day, because I was just a guest star on it, me and Jason Lee used to always throw the football, or I'd throw the football with some of the crew or cast. At the end of the shoot, they had everyone sign the football, and I think there's a picture of it somewhere. If you ask my mom, she would find it, of me holding the football and like really excited, and that was a fun time for sure. Yeah.
But so when you look back on these things, right, and you're like, oh, some of these I don't even remember. That's normal, because you're like 5 years old. You're like, yeah. So when you look back on your quote starting your career. And I know that a lot of it, your mom helped guide, because your mom was an actor and is an actor and has done that stuff. What is, people will ask you, I spoke to Madison about this, and she was like, people ask me like my first memory, and like, I don't know. She's like, I was 6. They told me where to stand. I stood there, like that kind of thing. So for you, what was that? What was your process like? Halloween 2, the Crazies, things like that. Were you like, I don't know what's going on, but this is fun, and like they're just throwing me on a tape on the floor, and I'm just listening to everybody? Is that how like it was in the beginning?
Oh no, 1,000%. Because even before that, I did these commercials, and it was so much fun. So like growing up, like when I was really young doing those things, it was like I was just going to. It was so fun, and obviously it still is now. But I didn't really comprehend the work aspect or the career aspect until I was maybe like 15. So all of these projects I did, I would just go, oh cool, like I get out of school for 2 weeks, or I get free food, or I get to meet cool new people, or I get to travel someplace for free. Like that's kind of the mindset I had, and always going on set and doing the scenes was a ton of fun. Like I didn't care, especially with Lucy Hale in the Cinderella Story. Going on that, I had the biggest crush on her, and it was like, oh, this is so fun. And like I got to play this like crazy little child who runs around and squirts mustard and ketchup bottles. So there was never any pressure or nervousness at all. No.
Which I feel like everyone wishes like they could go back to that moment where like you just didn't care.
Oh yeah, no, because as a kid, like you're just like, who cares, right? All you care about is summer and getting out of school and going to the pool, the local pool or whatever. So that's kind of where I was. That's all I thought about. And then I think I gained consciousness at like 15. I'm like, oh wait, this could be a career.
Yeah, this could be a career. Now I'm like nervous. Now I need to work on things. Yeah,
exactly.
So what is your first like full comprehension of what you were doing project?
So first full comprehension was the Alienist TNT. I think I was, well, no, wasn't that? I was 17. Well, no, you know what it was is I had a lot of screen tests that it was projects I didn't get. So growing up in LA and screen testing was just, for those who don't know, screen testing is like you're in the final group and you're reading off camera with like the main characters who are in it, or et cetera, et cetera. So I would do these like intense screen tests, and for a while I'd book stuff and it'd be fine. I'm like, oh, I don't care. But then these screen tests, I get really nervous, and I started comprehending like, whoa, like I wasn't like to an extent I wasn't having fun. Like I was like horrified of them. And I did one with Idris Elba for The Dark Tower. I did Spider-Man with Robert Downey Jr. And And those are like the culmination of those is when I kind of started gaining the consciousness. I was in the final group for Gotham to play Bruce Wayne. Now that I remember.
That's crazy.
So I was in that room. But that's kind of where I gained that consciousness of, oh wow, this, I kind of really want this or need this, or whatever. But the first project that I worked on that was kind of like that was The Alienist for TNT. Because they flew me out to Budapest. I was 17, I think. I was 16, 15, 16, 17. And there was a ton of phenomenal actors on that, and actresses. And it was a period piece. I had a Brooklyn accent, so I had to work with a dialect coach. I had to learn how to ride a carriage with horses. And going on the set, it was nerve-wracking, and you had phenomenal actors like Daniel Bruhl, Luke Evans, Dakota Fanning, all these amazing people on set, and you have to deliver. It's a very demanding set, and it's a very serious. It wasn't like a comedy. It was a brutal drama, crime, type of show. So going on that was very nerve-wracking. I remember I had a day where I'm always about preparation. I always want to know exactly what I'm doing. And some days they'll spring stuff on you, and that's just the name of the game. As you learn that, like they'll spring new scenes or whatever on you. And I remember one day I prepped everything. I was ready to go, but they came to me like an hour before seeing, like, hey, we actually want to shoot this. And it was a big scene. It was like a really big scene. Hadn't looked at it all. I freaked out. But it was a good learning lesson of, in the career aspect of, some stuff is going to pop up, and you're just going to have to adapt, and you can only control what you can control. So, yeah. Sorry, I just wanted a whole spiel there, but
you answered the question. And what's interesting is, you were in other shows, like, and again, you were younger, Sleepy Hollow, which is great because they filmed in Wilmington.
Oh my, yeah, Wilmington. So I saw so many things in Wilmington.
I watched
I shot Sleepy Hollow, Army Wise, A Cinderella Story, Piranha, and I think one more. But I grew up there. And it's weird because that's where my sister's husband's family's from. So now it's like we're always up there. It's insane. It's weird.
By the way, I love Wilmington. I have such a sweet, special spot.
Have you been?
Oh my gosh. I've been there a million times.
Yeah.
Look, I had mentioned this before, like on another podcast, and I might have mentioned it to your sister, but I started when I was 12. So I kind of relate to you guys. My first journalism article, I like kind of exaggerated my age. They didn't meet me. It was over the phone.
Yeah.
So my first interview ever, you're too young to know the show, but like my first interview ever was with the cast of Dawson's Creek, and they had filmed in Wilmington.
Yeah.
So they were like one of the first big kind of like, I mean, like, listen, I'm sure there's a million big shows that had filmed there, but in my time, it was like the first big show. So I spent down there, and then like Gilmore Girls was down there, and no, Gilmore Girls was in Warner Brothers, so I flew up there, but like there were parts of just like so many shows that were down there. One Tree Hill was down there, so it was kind of, but I did like the Screen Gems tour. I don't know if you did this tour ever, but like I did the tour.
Oh no, but I was there all the time because Mackenzie filmed there too at Screen Gems. You talking about Wilmington?
Yeah, and it was like, so I was like, I'm gonna be like a tourist and do the tour because I've never done it. So I did the tour, and they take you on like whatever sets are.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy was doing like a movie or something, and like there was like castles built in the back, and it was I went through it. Were you down there? I'm sure you were down there for that.
So actually, I was down there all the time with Mackenzie because she was filming Under the Dome there. But I filmed there for Sleepy Hollow. But one of the days that Mackenzie had off, we were just there for some reason, and they showed us a set from, I think it was Journey to the Center of the Earth, the second one, I think it was, and they had all these crazy like sets. So I definitely saw some stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful studio too. So if anyone ever heads down to Wilmington, I mean, Wilmington is one of, I feel like, the nicest towns. It's full of the people. If you're gonna be quote unquote famous or like learn your craft, Wilmington is one of the best towns ever because nobody cares. Like they could care less who you are, what you're doing, because they're so used to it. And then the studio is so kind of far off. It's like away from the town.
Yeah.
Its own spot. And it's huge, and like I don't know, it's really an amazing area if you have a chance to ever head down there. But yeah, so I spent years in Wilmington. I did vacations in Wilmington. I went to the dockside. Like I used to like go to all the restaurants down there.
Yeah. Did you go to Tower 7?
I went to Tower 7. I did that. I crossed over the river. I was super proud of myself because that was when I was driving and crossed over the river and went to like the battleship side, and I went over.
Yeah.
court and all the stuff over there. So, oh yeah. Oh, we could go into stories. I love the fountain in front of like the building, like the building down there, and like, and again, these are all famous. Like for anyone that's listening, like if you look up a show, it's probably most likely some part of it was filmed in Wilmington, I feel like. Or if you like Nicholas Sparks in particular, he films a ton in North Carolina because all of his stuff, you know, and he's from North Carolina. So there's so many famous like areas down there. So you could just literally be walking on the boardwalk and be like, that looks familiar. And then that was in like a or something. It's a really cool place. But
I love it there.
You this is totally not related at all to you being an actor, but do you remember, and you might have been too young, I don't know if they're still open, and if they're not, you might have been too young, but do you remember there's like the Black Cat or like the Magic Cat store or something? It was like such an odd store with like a crazy woman. I shouldn't say crazy if she's listening.
Wait, in Wilmington?
Yeah, it was in Wilmington. It was by the record. Do you remember the record store? Were you like there when they had like the CDs and the local people that used to like put their music in a box?
No, I might have never seen it, or I just can't recollect it. Yeah.
You're probably too young. And like, so across the street, I shouldn't say she was crazy. That's like, nobody at me, but she was like eccentric. I should have said that. She's very eccentric. She was super nice. And it was called like the Black Cat or something black. If you guys, anyone from Wilmington, you can comment below and let me know what the name of the store was. I don't know if it's still open, but the store was like crazy. Like you went in and it's just like all sorts of like knickknacks and things. And
Yeah.
And like, it was such a weird place. But then they had a restaurant, which I don't remember the name of, that had a like mechanical bull inside of it. So I don't know if that's still there, but
it's been a lot of those memories from when I was a kid. I don't remember. I remember being on set. Like I have a lot of memories on set. Mm-hmm. I've lost a lot of the memories of me and my mom like hanging out like on an off day. Yeah, which is weird. So I was there. I mean, it was I was 9 when we did that. I'm 22. I'm 22 now. So a lot of those memories of us hanging out or like doing cool stuff is kind of gone. But it's weird now because all of those memories are washed over by the new ones I made, just being there just for vacation or seeing family, which is weird.
Well, obviously you did Wrightsville Beach.
Oh, no. So I was on, where I was staying was on Wrightsville Beach, like on the sand.
Okay. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I stayed, I wasn't, I'm not an actress. They don't hook me up with anything. Well, or I didn't live down there. So I used to stay at the Hilton. That was right in town.
Yeah.
That's where I stayed. But
when I was filming there for like TV stuff, I used to stay in the Homewood Suites, which was right by Mayfair, if you know where that is.
Yeah. Oh my god!
Okay. And all these people listening who've never been to Wilmington are like, what are they even talking about right now? But no, a lot of the projects I stayed in the Homewood Suites, which I have a lot of memories there.
Oh wow! And that's funny because I feel like they put up actors there a lot. Because when I was down there, some of the actors from the shows that I was covering were staying there. So that must
yeah.
They
I guess it was the hot spot. Yeah.
You were in the hot spot. You were in the cool spot. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone listening, go to Wilmington, North Carolina. It's an amazing place. It's beautiful. You're like 30 minutes from the Wrightsville Beach, which is like one of the nicest beaches. I mean, I cannot say enough great things about Wilmington. So it was amazing. You got to spend time there. So your first memory, like you were talking about, was The Alienist.
Yes.
So what was it like kind of learning what it is to be an actor, learning where to stand, and then learning how to work off another person? Because now you're comprehending what you're doing, right? Now you feel some pressure. You're with a very famous cast of people. So what starts forming? What starts happening to you like as you're working on that? Because you were on that for 10 episodes, so that's a long time to be on.
I mean, I was there 7 months, so yeah, and my like we were there a long time, and it was kind of like it was very nerve-wracking, but as long as you go there and trust yourself and trust the directors, because a lot of the times the amazing directors we had would kind of guide on how they wanted the scene to go, or they'd even a lot of times they'd bounce off me or some of the other actors would give you more confidence to just flow and trust yourself. But there definitely was a learning curve. I mean, I was really nervous because you don't want to mess up a scene with these amazing actors and amazing writing, and the set deck, everything about the sets were fantastic. They built out like 8 blocks of like late 1800s New York. But a lot of the time it was just repetition and going over it with my mom, who's my coach, and just going over the scenes and discussing what would you think in this, what would you do in this. And Well, it was just trusting yourself. And, of course, there's going to be some times where you mess up a line or you're not feeling confident. But something Madison actually always taught me or always said to me is, you can feel nervous and you can be really nervous, but just don't let it, just keep going and don't let it affect you. Like, you can do a scene and be nervous and just accept that, oh, hey, I'm nervous, but I'm going to do the scene and do what I want to do in the scene.
Yeah. Yeah. Madison talks a lot about nerves and like, trying to like conquer nerves and how you handle that kind of stuff. So for someone to be able to give you advice like her, your mom, how were you able to conquer that? Because to me, I'm so used to talking to, because people always ask me all the time, they're like, oh my God, did you freak out that you spoke to whoever? And I go, no, like, it's so hard to explain because the second I start, like a switch, like I can only like count it as like turning on a lamp. Like the lamp goes on and I'm no longer talking to like huge celebrity. I'm talking to just a person and we're doing an interview. But one of my friends said, well, doesn't that like ruin it for you? Because like you don't get excited anymore. Like you're not like and I'm like, no, you still get excited, but it's just different. And sometimes nervous, like before an interview, like sometimes I'm like, oh, like I don't, it will be fine. And then like, and I don't write questions, I don't prep anything other than I
just go for it. Yeah, exactly.
Do it. So like sometimes I'll be like a little nervous, but like I kind of do what your sister does. I just kind of go, well, I'm gonna be nervous during it, and like hopefully it just kind of like flows away.
Yeah. Well, that's how I am now, kind of. Well, and for people listening, if you're saying, oh, I'm nervous all the way through, a lot of the times I am too. But like what you were just saying, like sometimes I'll be so nervous for a scene or so whatever, and then the switch just turns on or off, however you want to think of it, and it just is like a flow state of like whatever, and I'll do the scene. But it's okay to be nervous. I mean, being nervous means you're excited and you want to do good and you want to do good work, whatever the field you're in, and just kind of accepting it. I know it's hard because I'm saying that as I'm saying that I sometimes I get really nervous and it's hard to conquer it, but you got to just say it's okay, whatever happens. I mean, at the end of the day, we're on a floating rock in the middle of who knows, right? So
well, yeah. I always tell myself, I'm always like, well, listen, if it goes bad because I'm nervous, or if I freak out, or whatever happens, I'm like, I'm human. Like I'm not doing like I'm not
exactly
doctor. I'm not doing like real work.
You're not a doctor working on like a life, right? I mean, it's like, come on,
something super serious. I'm just like interviewing people, so it's okay. Like if I get nervous, it's okay. And then my friend used to joke. My mom actually used to tell me, and I'm older than you. I'm 36, but my mom used to joke, and she would say like, if you ever did get nervous, my mom always used to say like, remember, first of all, they're regular people. Like they're just going to do a job. And then, and my mom would always say, and you're not curing cancer. My mom used to
no, exactly.
You're not curing cancer. You're not doing anything that great. She's like, just go interview them. And I'm like,
well, that's what I always say, because my girlfriend's about to be a vet, and I always tell people they like ask about like whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, my girlfriend's a doctor, and I play pretend for a living. So there's that.
Yeah. It seems so weird, but there's this magic about television and film that makes
it's the art, right? I mean, it's
yeah, and it makes both of us attracted to it in a different way. Like I'm attracted into asking a million questions and finding out about it. You're attracted into it and being in it, and there's this weird pull, and we can't explain it other than like, we're not like curing cancer, we're not doing like these amazing things.
Yeah.
Thing that we do, like whether I'm doing an interview and someone listens to it and really relates to it, what you're saying about anxiety or being nervous and go, oh my God, that's what I need to do. I need to keep saying that. And
well, like going off what you just said, sorry to cut you off, because what you said is a really good point, because the anxiety of it, I struggle with a lot of anxiety. And it might have stemmed from, being a child actor and missing out on certain things. And mind you, this was all my doing. I've always wanted to pursue, and, Madison and I have had such a lovely family, and our parents always want us to do what we want to do. And now look at my younger brother. He was in acting. Now he's playing college golf. And my older sister was in acting and is now about to be a lawyer. But I think a lot of the thing that people need to realize is my motto, or it's my mom's motto, is to fail forward. I literally have it tattooed on me, failing forward. I always used to be so like, I don't know if you were this way or people listening are this way. I'm always so, or I used to be so scared of failure and like, oh, I don't want to fail. And obviously you don't want to, fall and not do good, but there's always going to be failure in life. You're always going to fail at something, whether, it could be anything. It could be like you want to play basketball and the first day you don't make a single shot. It's just you fail forward, you accept what it is, and you just keep going and don't let it affect you. Sorry, that's my motivational speech for the day.
And I agree with you. And feel free to interrupt me anytime. I rant. I'm like your sister, so you're probably used to it. Yeah, so yeah, interrupt me because we were both joking that we both rant. So I was like, yeah. No, but what you said is true. And I think that it's an interesting thing. I have anxiety, I struggle, and people are always like shocked when they find out. They're like, oh, but you do all these things. Luckily, it's kind of localized to flying. I'm not a huge flyer. And I picked the worst, like,
oh, you hate flying?
Yeah, like I picked the worst job because I
hate flying. I hate it. No. Like I saw this thing about flying, like, well, I hate turbulence. So like it freaks me out. And I've been on 1,000 flights, so it shouldn't. But I saw like a TikTok or something where it's like, think about you as this is the plane, and there's jello in between you, and it just does this, but you're in the jello, so it's okay. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, that's okay.
How that helps me, but
I'm like the worst because people ask me what it is. I can't tell you. I just don't.
Just everything about it.
I just don't like it. Like, and I think it's a control thing because I think when you have anxiety, a lot of times it's stuff out of your control, and I'm not.
Oh yeah, sure.
And I can't get off the plane, so it's like once I'm on the plane, I'm stuck until we land. And I think it's more of like that. So I have to like be like drugged basically to fly. Like I'm the worst. So it's like kind of localized to that. But there have been times where, and you might have experienced this, where it leaks out. Like anxiety can kind of flip and change and be weird and show up at random times. And so I tell people all the time, I'm very open about it. I will talk about it. I will answer any questions about it. But it happens, and it will happen sometimes right before something really, and I'm like sweating, and like, and you're getting all the feelings, the heart's going, and so far, like, fingers crossed, I've been lucky that it either kind of dissipates because it's your mind. Like my mind will start focusing on something else, and then it kind of like starts going away.
I'm a big overthinker, so like sometimes I'll have this generalized anxiety too, which is weird. Like I'll be having the best day, and then like something will change. I'm like, why do I feel like this? But it always goes away, thankfully. But it's just like, there's definitely, Yeah,
it's a weird thing. So like I think when you're in this industry too, in particular, whatever you're doing in this industry, you could be an artist, you could be in production, you could be an actor, you could be a journalist, whatever. I do think a lot of us share a form of anxiety, and I don't know if it's because of that fear, like what you were saying, like the fear of failure, really subconsciously there. I don't know if it's just the amount of work and pressure that we put on ourselves. We all started young.
I think it's just it could be. I think everyone has their own unique like situation of how it goes about. But I think the good thing is that a lot of people have it, and we can all share together and almost be one, or we can rely on our peers and friends. I think is good.
Yeah, it's a lot nicer because again, I'm like, I don't even know how much, like at least 10 plus years older than you. And when I was younger, I've had it forever. And when I was younger, there was no like name for it. So like I didn't know what it was. And so
it wasn't called anxiety back then?
Not really. Like people weren't talking about it. It was like very taboo. And like growing up, I didn't know what it was. I just thought like I had something weird. And like so when I was a kid, I just didn't say anything. Like I just didn't know what it was. And then when I got older, I kind of got educated. And when I was 17 is when I kind of learned what it was. I was in college and still doing all my journalism stuff. So I was always leaving all the time to go do things, which you could probably relate to. I left my like 5th grade dance to go do interviews. Like I was
I've never been to a prom before, which is hilarious.
Oh my god, you've never been to prom?
I never been to prom.
So
no, I don't care. I'm not saying that to be. I'm just stating like, I've missed every like big high school thing that you can think of.
But if someone's listening that has a huge crush on you, I mean, you are taken. You have
I want to go to prom. Someone take me to prom.
Yeah, someone can invite you to prom, and then you can come like check out their prom.
Exactly.
You do like one of those like friend prom things, and then everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god, the Matt Linz showed us to my prom with my."
Oh gosh.
We'll have to put that out there for people.
Yeah.
But like it's just an interesting experience. But so the Alienist was kind of like your big way of kind of processing, learning, working through any anxiety stuff, which again is a recurring kind of thing that happens, but just working and learning, growing as an actor. And it's funny because everyone knows you from The Walking Dead.
Yep.
Is that something I ask a lot of actors this, because a lot of actors have like the one thing that people go, oh my God, you did that. That's what you're known for. And like overnight you became fit, and people are like, no, I've been working for like 20 years. It's like you just saw this.
Yeah.
So for you, is it, and you can be totally honest, is it a good thing that people are like, oh, I know him from The Walking Dead, a bad thing? Or is it both? That people will see you and right away go, oh my God, it's the guy from The Walking Dead.
No, it doesn't bother me because people watch what they want to watch. I'm never gonna go. Someone, so I know you from The Walking Dead. Like, oh, what you didn't watch the other random things I did in 2008? Like, no, I think it's always a cool thing that people watch and like the work you do. So I don't see it as that. And what was the other part? I zoned out. What was the other part of the question?
And well, because I always find it interesting, because then people think it's like overnight, that you were like a success overnight.
Oh
So
yeah.
like that misconception, or like the idea that The Walking Dead is like the only thing you've been in, and then some people might go, oh, I haven't seen him in forever, and you're like, no, I've done this.
No, that doesn't bother me more, because people watch what they watch. I don't care if someone, like, I don't, because at the end of the day, I don't do it. I don't do it for that. I do it because I love the art. I love the craft of just being involved in creating such a cool thing, and whatever it may be. And I think that after the bonus of it is affecting other people, and in a good way, and people saying, oh, I love what you did in this, and I think that's always a good thing. So I don't care what people say.
So going into that, you were on The Walking Dead. So your sister was on The Walking Dead first, and eventually it became like a family thing. But you played. I loved your character so much. You played Henry.
You did. Most people didn't. He was kind of dumb.
Yes, I loved him. Well, because you were young, you were playing a young character, and I feel like
Yeah.
a troublemaker, but like young, like that's what we do.
Yeah.
I'll just say we fuck up, like, so.
Yeah.
That's what you were.
No, I thought that way too. I always, because people would give me hate about like his decisions. I'm like, yeah, they're kind of stupid, but like he's young, and he sees the world, like he wants to see the good in everyone, which is always a good thing. And I kind of understood it, but also I was like, come on, he wants to see the good in people.
Well, and the other thing is too, if people are giving like Henry a hard time, or giving you a hard time about Henry, to me, you try walking into a room and like being a kid that's around like at like being a Henry, and like I'm talking about the character, walking in and then seeing people around you, which are like Daryl and Carol and all these people that are kicking ass and like doing all these crazy things and saving people, and you're like, well, I could do that. And when you're young, you don't think.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I've never thought about that.
So I never thought of Henry as someone that was like a dick. Like I just thought that he was like
yeah.
Kid that was like, a little misguided, but again, you're in the middle of an apocalypse, but you're seeing all these people coming in, blood cover, and like saving the day, and he just wanted to save the day, and he just wanted to grow up faster than he was growing up, and I feel like he wanted to do things that he wasn't.
I've never seen anyone say that to me before. That's a great point, honestly, because he was young. He saw all these amazing people. Literally, his adopted mom is like the biggest badass in the entire show.
Yeah.
So he probably saw her and was like, oh, maybe I can do that. Obviously, that didn't really work out. But
at the end, but I like, yeah, so like I find that interesting that people give you a hard time about that, because I don't view him at all like that. I feel like if I was in his position, I felt the exact same way. This with Madison, you guys have a connection, or she did, I don't know if you did, but I'm assuming you did, to Melissa. So Melissa was a casting director in Atlanta. Yeah. And you guys knew her really well before you guys were.
We knew her years before the show. So me and my mom and Madison would always go to her office for auditions, whether it was a TV show. I think it was, that was a blur. I do remember the place. I remember there was a lot of like really cool like movie posters that they had up, like pictures and stuff like that. This is such a weird thing that I remember, but I remember it was double doors to go into like the room where the audition was. I don't know how I remember that, but that's all I remember. But no, we've known her pretty much my whole life, and even when Madison got on the show with her, I used to always be on set, and it was weird because Madison gets on there, so I've known her forever. And my first scene ever on The Walking Dead was with her, so it's like it's kind of this weird like full circle thing that we all got to share, which is awesome.
What's even weirder is that Madison's on the show and she plays her daughter, and you're on the show and you end up sort of becoming like her son.
Yeah.
What are the like? There are 1,000 people on The Walking Dead. There's like
it's weird. It's a weird thing
that they would have put you with her. Like, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. I it's kind of hard to comprehend because like having 3 siblings on the same, like one of the biggest shows like of our time is really weird. I mean, we're so lucky and so blessed, but it's just like kind of weird to think about like the odds of it. But yeah.
So crazy. What was it like working with Melissa? You know, obviously you grew up with her as kind of the casting agent role, right? And you're coming in, you guys are super informal and hanging out. And then you go from that to you're in like the middle of like nowhere, dirty, and you're seeing actor Melissa, right? Like you're not seeing casting director and she's being different. So what was the relationship like? How did that shift? And how did you guys work together to make, because you guys really broke, I mean, I think honestly, the relationship between Carol and Henry, and I would say in Carol and probably your sister, but I mean in the very beginning, are probably the 2 most heartbreaking moments I think for her character in the show. Like when you think about it, like as a whole, now that the show is over, and I know there's spin-offs and stuff, but like in just the Walking Dead world, those were probably the 2 most worst moments in her life. So for you guys as actors, how is it different to see Melissa like not as a casting director? And then what did you do to build that relationship? Or, you know, some of it was already there, obviously.
Yeah.
Kind of like work on it.
So like when we were younger, like, I don't remember. Obviously I remember like talking to her, but I don't remember. It was just like a fun, like, oh, he's a little kid, whatever. So like it was always great. And then when Madison was on the show, I don't remember anything. Like I don't remember. I remember I was on set, and I remember one time Madison had her. Oh, I don't want to spoil this. Okay, I'm gonna spoil something. If you haven't seen the show, turn it off. Most of you probably have. She had her walker makeup on, and me and Max were in her trailer or whatever. She comes in, and Max he sees Madison in like this like zombie makeup. He starts freaking out. It was hilarious. But no, going back to what you're saying, the relationship and like friendship was already there. I'd known her my whole life. Like she was like a really awesome person, and just getting to build that, like, because I was on set for months, and most of my scenes were with her, and you know, she's such an amazing actress and such an awesome, fun person in real life. And I think a lot of the memories we made was like off camera, because we were just goofing around, hanging out, and just having a good time. And then obviously going on camera, we already had the chemistry, so like it was already there.
Yeah.
What
was it like? Speaking of that, what was it like seeing your sister? So your sister played Sophia, which and now it's crazy. She came back for The Talking Dead, and people were freaking out because she looked so different because we hadn't seen her in years. But if I'm other than I think the pilot where you see a child that was turned, I don't think we see another kid until we see Sophia, which turns on the show that I can remember.
Because there's talking about getting turned.
Yeah, like I don't think we saw any children get turned. I think your sister was the first one in the where we see like the whole kind of transformation happen. What was that like being on? So another kind of like comparison, what was it like being on set, or that you could remember? Because again, you're young, like you're young. So what could you like remember being on set versus you acting on set? Because you're on set hanging out.
I don't know, because I knew I was on set. I couldn't. I wish I knew more, because the amount of amazing actors on that set on season 1, I'm such a big fan of John Bernthal and Andy. So like I wish I was able to like analyze that, but I think I was just a kid, and I would like go up to set for like an hour or whatever, like sit in the tent. So I couldn't tell you. All I know is on set when I was filming, it was I always say this, but I mean it's a well-oiled machine. Like everyone knows everyone. And it's just like, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do it like this. And then the actors are all goofing off, and I think the main thing about it is the relationships I built, because I was working with them like 4 or 5 times a week, and getting to build those relationships with not only the cast, but the crew was awesome. Like I have a story about how I was filming Miss Marvel. So for those who don't know, I filmed The Walking Dead, then I took like a year and a half off, and I didn't know if I wanted to act anymore. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was like, okay, well, like I'm done with the alienist, and I get killed off in The Walking Dead. Like maybe I'll just quit. So like I took a break, and then I go to school. My first audition back is Miss Marvel, and of course, you know, the timing of all the timing, I book it and have to drop out. But I'm filming on Miss Marvel, and it's in Atlanta. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll see some of the Walking Dead people. That'd be really cool. Didn't see anybody, and then randomly, a few months in, like 5 of the main crew people I worked with on Walking Dead are working, and it was the craziest thing because like one of them named Redbeard snuck up on me and was like, hey Matt, it's me. And by the way, we all had our masks on because it was during the pandemic, obviously, so I couldn't tell who it was. And then he showed his beard. I was like, there's no way. So there was a lot of those instances of like the friendships that I built years ago coming back full circle on Miss Marvel. So like a lot of us were really close for sure. Yeah.
That's so crazy. So okay, so you have your sister who plays Sophia who dies. Now we have you. So tell me the arc of Henry, or what you did to kind of work on him, because it's surprising that you think that people didn't like him, because everyone I talk to likes him. So maybe we're talking to different people, but I feel like we really got like a fondness of him. So what did you work over time? He also, if you know, was working with a stick for time. So how did all of that come about? Did you have to practice and all of those things? So what is the arc of Henry from when we meet him to when he dies on the show?
So yeah, I did have to work with a stick. That was the main thing we did before I even filmed. Like that's the first thing. I booked it immediately. Like the next day, like you need to come to the studios to start working with, you know, the staff. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. So I was working like 2 or 3 weeks, and you know, while I was doing that, I'm doing fittings and whatever. So I didn't learn too much. I wish I did, but a lot of it was like routines with the bow staff. And if there was a fight sequence or there was some stuff where I'm in a physical altercation, we would go to them and like, we have a routine we can show you, and we can use some of that routine within the fight. So all the bow stuff where if I'm hitting someone or stuff like that, it's stuff in a routine that we just handpicked and put in there. So I didn't look like a total dumbass, and so I didn't know how to use it. So a lot of people were like, "Oh wow, you're like really good with it." Look with the staff, I'm like, no, it's a simple routine that we would, you know, handpick and put in certain situations. But you know, I mean, his arc is pretty similar. He just is the moral compass of the group. The shirt he wears is actually a compass, which was kind of a nod to that. But he, you know, he's just a kid who wants to do good in the world. He wants to see the light in everybody, which, you know, is a blessing and a curse. And going forward, you know, he does make mistakes, like him. I think it was episode 7 where they're going off to Hilltop. He hears like a baby cry or something, and he instantly was like, I need to save the baby. I need to save it. Or no, it was a woman like screaming for help. But so he instantly was like, oh, I need to help this woman. And he doesn't even think about if it could be a trap. And of course it is a trap. And then, you know, that's foreshadowing to what happens, you know, at the very end to him, where he wants to do good. He wants to help people, and it kind of, you know, leads to his demise. But he always wanted to see the light, and you know, he's a good kid. And I think a lot of people hated him at first, or hated him during the show, because I was getting a lot of hate. It was kind of weird because I'm like, I'm the actor playing it, and people are like sending me like crazy messages. I'm like, dude, I'm just playing the character that is bestowed upon me. But then after he died, a lot of people were like, oh wait, well, he was a good kid. You know, he kind of messed up a little bit, but you know, he's a good kid.
It's so crazy when people do that too, because you're like, I'm just acting. I'm saying someone else's words. I always find that
it's weird. A lot of people do like they like have this mental thing where like they will
I think you are
the character with the actor and merge them into one. I'm like, dude, oh my gosh, relax.
How often that happens though? It happens so much. Like I'll talk to a friend of mine, and she'll be like, oh my God, I'm so in love with X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, oh my God, they're such a horrible person, but I can't say it because like, it's like amazing act like on a show. And like, I'm like, oh my gosh, if you only knew like how he was in real
I know some people like that. I'm not gonna obviously say anybody, but
yeah, like
so it was no one on anything I've worked with. It's people I know that I haven't on stuff I haven't worked with. But yeah, no, there's some people like that.
Yeah, and in this industry in particular, it's like word gets around real fast, but we're also, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, and I feel like sometimes it could be a bad thing lately, but that a lot of us don't talk about it. So it's like we all know sometimes, like someone's like good person to work with, and like we just don't talk about it. But yeah, it's out there for sure. And if you're a good person, it's also out there. But it's again, you don't want to ruin someone that like loves a person. So it's like you just
exactly
thing. And again, and I'm not talking about anything serious. Like if it like just we're more of like behavioral or just like being a dick.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Doing something inappropriate. I feel like that we would say something, but what was it like? And I told you, see, we go on like random rants, but what was it like working, because you're training, if I'm not mistaken, and again, like I'm thinking back because there's so many years. So like you're working with Morgan, right? Because Morgan was the one training you with the staff, and then you're on when
I forgot about that too. Like there's all Max and stuff where he's younger. Like yeah. Sorry, keep going.
You have so much stuff. So you have that. You have like the king. So you have King Ezekiel during your season. You have Negan during your season. You have a new like group, interesting group. It was the Whispers, right? In the beginning of that does the stuff
season 9, in season 9, yeah.
So you have them. So you had, while you were on the show, you had some of the most biggest characters on the show. So while you're acting and kind of hanging out and in between scenes, was there anyone in particular that you like gravitated towards or like wanted to learn from or see? Or I know a lot of people were notorious to stay like in between when they weren't shooting and watch other people. So like, was there certain things where you were like, I want to watch like Jeffrey do the scene, or I want to stay and ask, you know, Norman this question? Was there any of that you were able to do? Or
so obviously I look up to all these actors, you know, they're so amazing. So I was blessed to, you know, have a lot of like scenes with like Norman and Melissa, like all these amazing people, you know, like Kari, and like there's so I can name like I feel on like a rant of so many people. And I was looking at everyone because they'd all been in the show like a good amount of time. Because they had all these people on for seasons and seasons. So and then all like me and a few other people came in that were new, and obviously I wanted to do that. But all I can think of is we were rehearsing, Norman and I. I think it was with Greg Nicotero. It was me, Norman, and Greg Nicotero, and we're going over like this scene where I'm in the prison cell, and it's a pretty big scene. It's very emotional. There's a lot going on. There's a lot that goes on, and we were trying to get it right and feel it out and figure it out as we're doing it. And it's like we're rehearsing. It's very serious. Jeffrey Dean Morgan just walks in and he's like, "Oh, what are you guys doing in here?" I'm like, "Oh, like," and that's the first time I met him. I was like, "Oh, this is Jeffrey Dean Morgan." So yeah, of course. I mean, there's so many people that I wish I could have stayed to you know, watch on set. But mind you, it's also like 100 degrees. So if I'm done, I'm like, okay, I'm wearing like long sleeve, like black jeans, long sleeve shirts, armor. I'm like, dude, I love you guys, but I'm gonna go and get an AC. Yeah. So, but no, they're great. They're awesome.
I know. I always wondered how you guys all did that, because I like sweat, so I would be like profusely sweating, especially I know it gets cold towards the end of filming or whatever, but in the beginning it's like 1,000,000 degrees, and you guys are always.
Oh, it didn't get cold for me. I was in the thick of full on just heat.
Yeah. I would have been like a complete mess. But so let's get to your death scene, and then I'm going to ask you the question that I asked Madison and see what you say about it. But your scene was one of the most shocking, your death scene, because we don't actually like necessarily physically see you die, but we have this horrible thing where like you guys are missing, there's a group missing, we don't know what happened to them, and you will forever be in that most famous moment where we see a hill, and I think Daryl's the first one, and like a group of them are kind of heading up the hill, and then Daryl tries to stop Carol from going up, and you're like, what's going on? And then we just see a bunch of sticks with heads, and they're moving, and it's awful. And I think I yelled like out loud, like I was like out loud.
Yeah.
Henry. So before I get to the question I asked your sister, so I'm so curious about this, but for you, did you have to do like full head? Like, how did they do that? Because it looked just like you, and it's like
they did a ton.
How did that happen? Did they have to do a full facial thing on you?
Yeah, so they did the first thing they did was a facial mold, which was like 8 layers of like hot, like it's like a 10-pound thing where they do layer after layer, and all you can breathe through is your nostrils, which is horrifying. And mind you, they're like telling me about it. I'm like, oh, like this kind of seems sketchy, but I'll be good. They like are like, oh, we've had like multiple grown men like freak out and have us rip it off. I'm like, oh, that's probably what you want to tell me. But it went fine. I was like multiple times close to having a panic attack because you have this on for like 10 minutes. So they do that. They get the mold, whatever. Thankfully, I only had to do it once. Then they ship it off to LA and get like it rendered or something to where it like looks exactly like me, like painted or something like that. Then they ship it back to Atlanta to do the animatronics of it, so they can have it move and stuff. Right. Then on the day they put me in makeup, on like how like they'll match like what the animatronic looks like makeup wise. So they'll do that, and then they'll bring me up. They brought me up to set and put a blue screen or blue blanket around me, and it's just my head. And they'll have me mimic like zombie like movements, and then with the animatronics like on the pike and the CG that they did with my face, they'll like merge that into one, which is what they did, and it looked amazing and it's horrifying and very weird at the same time.
Like, that's so crazy. I forgot to ask you really quickly, how did you find out that you were gonna die? Like, cause did you get the call, like the famous call?
Yeah, Angela Kang called. It was last minute. I mean, that's how it always is though. So going onto the show, I knew it. Like I knew like that. I didn't know I was gonna die, but I knew that a lot of people do die, so I was prepared and like it's whatever. And of course, 2 weeks before we filmed the death scene, okay, like he's one of the ones that goes. Which it sucked because I love filming with the group, but at the same time I was lucky enough to be on the show and have the memories or make the memories I made, and it was fine. Yeah, it was good.
So who called you?
Angela Kang, the showrunner. Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. Okay, so she called you and let you know, because that's what it's her or Greg or whoever, like someone big kind of does the phone call.
Yeah.
Lets you guys know. Did you have it like a goodbye dinner, one of those like famous goodbye dinners? Did everybody?
No, I didn't. It was all so quick, and there were so many of us. I didn't deserve it. I was only on the show for me personally 9 episodes. So, I mean, it was quick, but
you've run a long time.
Yeah. So it was, it was fine. Like but it was good. It was fun to hang out with them, and I was very conscious of the last few days because I wanted to take in everything and hang out with everybody.
Well, okay, so we've reached the question that I've been teasing this whole time, which is, since you guys are, siblings, and both of you had, you and Madison are siblings, and since you guys both had severely traumatic death scenes, Sophia is in a barn and then changes.
Are you gonna ask me which one is worse?
Yep, but I asked this to Madison too. It's so interesting. So, and hers was awful, right? Because she's in a barn and this horrible thing, and then someone has to shoot her, and it was just terrible. And then yours is a total shock. Like, we had no clue. And because I feel like the barn, we kind of knew a little bit, like it was leading up to it. For you, I came out of nowhere, and you're just like, your head's on a stick and it's like moving around, and it was like heartbreaking. Yeah. So for you, who do you think was worse? Was yours worse, okay, or your?
Here's my take. So if you're looking at this literally, like from a human standpoint, the pikes were horrendous. There's severed heads on pikes. That is like terrible, and it's all your closest friends or your sibling or your sons or whatever. Like, that is terrible. I think that Sophia had more of an impact on the show though, because it at the time, the show was so new, people didn't really know. Like, oh, like kids know, there's no way they're gonna kill her off. No, they did. I think so. In my opinion, Sophia walking out of the barn was more of an impact than the pikes. That's my pick.
And you know what's funny is the two of you are definitely siblings, because the two of you both kind of gave credit to both.
Yeah.
Like, well, mine was terrifying because, it's a daughter and blah, blah, blah. But then she said that yours was terrifying. And you guys, I think, both even said, are we talking like on a practical level? Because they were.
Did she say that too?
Yeah, I think you guys had a very I would have to right now. I feel like we would be insert the tape of Madison's answer right here.
I swear she didn't tell me any of that. That was my. She didn't tell me what she said. That was my genuine answer.
Very similar in terms of how the pikes would have been so traumatic. That's. Oh, you know what she said? She was like, did he die first and then his head was put on a pike? Did he die and on the pike and then they cut his body off? She was like, we don't know how he did, and that's so horrifying, and that he's stuck there and moving. And she's like, we kind of knew, but then at the same time she was talking about that. So it's just very funny. So we were talking very practical, just exactly what you said. And she was going, so if you're going, and she broke it down just like you did. She was like, so if we're going with what's the most horrifying, if he was alive, his is more horrifying because like that would be terrible to be alive and have your head cut off and put on a stick and all of those things. And she's like, but if we're talking more of just kind of, you know, surprising and how bad it was, she's like maybe mine, but she was leaning towards a little, I think a little towards you, but you were both this very equal, very,
Yeah.
that's a very sibling answer. But it's a good one. And it's funny because neither of you talked about it. So that's so funny.
Yeah.
I'm watching the time and of course we're going over. So I want to get to Miss Marvel because I mean, so you take a break and could you pick any bigger shows? I mean, so like you literally go from like The Alienist to Walking Dead and then you're on Mrs. Marvel, which is one of like the largest shows known to man where you play.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the show. So you said you had already said that you were going to take time off. You were taking time off, do this audition. Of course, that's how life works. That it laughs at you. You have to drop out of school and you're doing the show. What is the show for anyone that hasn't seen it? What is it about? And who is Bruno? I love him.
What it's about is it's about a girl and it's about her journey, not only as a superhero, but as a girl growing up and, you know, a Pakistani girl growing up in, you know, America. And it's her journey. It's so beautiful because one, she relates to the audience. She's a big fan of Captain Marvel, huge fan of the Avengers, just like everyone watching the show is probably a big fan of you know, the Avengers and Marvel. And it's her journey of getting these insane powers and her journey becoming a good superhero or making the right choices or the, you know, the right choice overall. And, you know, Bruno assists that journey by being the best friend, the man in the chair. And he's always more on like the safe side of like, oh, we should not do this. Let's just wait. And, you know, Kamala's always like, no, I want to do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. And of course, you know, he loves her a lot and they go in with a lot of stuff. That's kind of it. Like, there's a lot you can go into with it. Like their relationship, they've known each other pretty much their whole lives. The Khan family takes in Bruno as like pretty much their own because his parents aren't in the show. And he runs this Circle Q shop. And so he's always over there with Kamala and you know, it's just about the relationships and it's such a cute, lovely show. I love it so much. I was so happy to be a part of it. And, you know, the social impact and, you know, the political impact it's had, I think has been so amazing and so well heard is the term I'll use. Well heard. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you're in a show like The Walking Dead, and I had asked you that question before where everyone goes, oh, are you the guy from The Walking Dead? I mean, it's one of the largest shows in the world. You go from that to Miss Marvel, which ended up being one of the largest shows in the world again, because I know watch the show, like everybody. So, I mean, it's just crazy to me. Like you take a little bit of time off, but again, it just shows you how good of an actor and you're so great in the show. Like to
thank you.
To take like some time off and then get this audition and get this role. Did you have any idea? Now, of course, obviously it's Miss Marvel. You know, there's going to be Marvel stuff in there. You know, there's already kind of like a base, but did you have any clue that it was going to be like to the extent where people were like, we want multiple seasons, we want spin-off?
No.
Like, did you have any clue?
No. And I kind of I didn't even get a gist for it, but we did rehearsals. I was like, oh, cool, rehearsals. No, and it was rehearsals for weeks where it was just me and Amon and, you know, the main directors and execs just going over. Like, it was like, and that's when I realized I was like, oh, this is going to be crazy. And of course, that's when the pressure sets in. But, you know, every day it's just going on set, trying to have fun and, you know, be Bruno and, you know, just trust yourself. You know the character, you work really hard at what you're doing and, you know, just trust yourself. But no, I had no idea. The contract, everything about it was just like, it was like a whole nother level of like craziness in a good way.
Yeah, and what's so crazy is I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of the episodes hasn't aired yet, right? Because I think I've seen it all.
No, the whole season's there.
The whole season's out. Okay. Yeah. I always get confused because they give me screeners and then like the dates are later, so I always like forget.
Yeah.
So the whole season's out. So there were rumblings, and I know people were talking about a possible season 2. Do you have?
I can't say much about that. I know. But I will say one thing: Marvel's very slow with how they do things. You know, they always have a set plan. Mm-hmm. They don't tell actors anything because they want it to be secret, obviously, which is smart. But they always have a plan. Is what I'll say.
So hopefully we'll be seeing you again.
Yeah. We'll see.
So good. I want to ask you kind of as we like wrap up because I kept you a little longer, but what is one character that you feel like you learned the most from and why that you did?
In Miss Marvel or just anything?
Career, like yeah, in everything that you've done.
That is a crazy question. That is a real. I've never gotten that question.
That's the tough stuff on this show.
I've never gotten that. Something I've learned from a character. Hold on, let me think about this.
A lot of characters and a lot of really good shows, so I it's a very hard
question. I don't know. Wait.
Yeah, like it doesn't even have to be a big thing. It's just like something that you feel like you learned the most of. Like, was it Stevie? Was it Henry? Was it, when you were on?
Is it from my characters that I've done, or is it anything?
It could be anything. It could be another character that you feel like while you were acting that you learned the most.
I'll go Henry.
Okay.
Or Henry or Bruno. Henry, I want to do two because I don't know. Henry is you always want to see. A lot of the time, you can be judgmental or whatever. It's always good to see the light in person and to give them the benefit of the doubt. That's what I'll say about Henry. And then for Bruno, I think it's being the loyal friend and being the empathetic friend is always such a key. And you might have that friend, but you might not be that friend to them or someone else. So it's always good to look at yourself in the mirror, like how can I be, how can I help out a friend, or what can I do for them to help them. Both very terrible answers, but those are my answers.
They're perfect answers, and that's fine. Again, you're the Matt Linz. It's okay. So to kind of like reflect really quickly on your whole career, what are you looking forward to most now? Because Miss Marvel is done, and I feel like you're lying to me that you don't know if there's a season 2, but I'm going to let it go so that you don't get sued. So what are you doing right now? Because obviously there's a writer's strike going on. So obviously there's a lot of pause happening. So what are you doing in your free time right now? Not
a lot, honestly, because the writer's strike does, hurt the industry. And I think it's a good thing, though, because, we want to get that figured out. Right. But it's been very slow. I'm just taking time with family. I have a dog and, hanging out with my girlfriend and, just hanging out with family and, keeping them close. Going to see other family for 4th of July was great, but it's just biding my time and waiting for the right thing to come along.
And are you still doing auditions right now and like self tapes and stuff?
Yeah, no, there's still self tapes.
This is Marvel.
No. There's still self tapes. Marvel's still there, and there's a lot of stuff.
Marvel still exists, hopefully. But are you still doing your auditioning currently, or no?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're doing like self tapes and auditioning.
Self tapes, auditionings, and yeah.
Got it. So you're going strong right now. So like you took that year off and now you're like back in it and like now you're back in it.
Yeah. Well, originally I lost like kind of like the love of it. I just kind of hated it and I was burnt out. And I think that year kind of really helped me propel to want to keep doing it and realize why I wanted to keep doing it.
Yeah.
So now I'm here.
Because the ones that don't do that get in trouble. So the ones that do take that moment to like just breathe for a minute, I think are ones that kind of hold their stuff together better. So
yeah.
For you to do that. So okay, so people can follow you. Where can they follow you on social?
I only have an Instagram, and I need to post more. I don't post a lot, but I only have an Instagram. It's Matt_Linz. Give me a follow. I post probably once a year. You do more on that, but yeah.
So for fans that love you, because like you have a lot of fans, I will speak for them. Post more so that they can comment.
I will try. Yeah. And if you see anything else on Twitter or whatever the other stuff is, that's not me. I only have an Instagram. So
perfect. That's why I always ask. So just Instagram. That's where they can find you. That's where they can find out all your new stuff. So when I'll say it, not him, but eventually when a Miss Marvel season 2 gets announced, that will be on Matt's Instagram, and then all his new projects and anything else he does is on there. The Walking Dead stream on AMC and AMC Plus if you haven't watched it. And when you get to it, you'll see this younger version of Matt, which is the cutest. That plays so much, so you can see it there. And then like look up The Alienist. It's a fantastic show that should have went
out. It's fun.
Much longer, but it was such a great show with some great talent, so check that out too. I mean, you just did one great thing after another, but I want to end with the same thing I end with everybody. I feel like James Lifton when I do this part. I get the honor, I say the same thing every time, I get the honor of talking to you, whereas a lot of your fans don't, right? Because there's millions of people and it's just very difficult. And even if you go to cons or whatever, it's just, you can't get to everybody. So
Yep.
I'll give you a minute to say anything that you want to say to fans that have followed you from show to show, that loved you on anything, like me, that's like, you know, a nerd that's like, I saw him in Army Wives, and then we just grew up watching various all the way through to Miss Marvel. So is there anything that I'm going to give you the floor. Is there anything that you would like to say to fans that have followed you this whole time, that love you and cannot wait for your next thing?
It's so corny, but just like, thank you. It's something that really affects me. I've had so many beautiful messages and sweet messages over the years of how I've affected people, and, you know, for the better, in how I've helped a lot of people. And it's hard to think about, because I'm like, there's no way, but, you know, people have been so loving, and I just want to say I love you as a person, as a human. Thank you for watching me. Thank you for you know, following along and on what I'm going to do later, and just thank you. I don't know what else to say, because there's so much, but yeah, you guys are the best.
Well, I just love you, the Matt Linz. I'm just gonna call you that the whole time.
Oh, the Matt Linz. Oh gosh.
Just gonna call you that the whole time. I just adore you. I adore your family so
Thank you.
much. I love you. I love your sister. I mean, getting to know the two of you, you guys could not be more normal, which is so frustrating because you guys are so nice. And I'm like, oh, like one of them should have been a jerk, but you guys were both good. Like, and
well, thank you for having me on. You've asked me so many questions that I've never been asked before, which is like so awesome. And it's fun to just it's not even an interview, it's just a conversation, which has been amazing.
I know I could share this in the very beginning before I hit record. Like, everyone's nervous, and I said, oh, it's extremely conversational, you can have fun. And you were like, okay, it's conversational. I was like, yeah, you can have fun.
No, I was like, oh, thank you.
No, but like everybody goes, oh my God, I'm so nervous. And then I look at the time and I go, yeah, we went over like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
I literally felt like we were here for like 10 minutes, but it's been a lot longer than that.
Went over, I think we started at 6. So we went an hour. Yeah, I was like, yeah, okay. Like, I'm Eastern Standard Time. So I was like, yeah, we'll be done at like, no, well, we started a little late. I think we were going to be done at like 6:40. So we went over by like half an hour.
Yeah, it's okay. It literally felt like 10 minutes.
It was conversational.
Yeah.
It happens. But I just adore you so much. You are fantastic in everything that you do. I loved you in The Walking Dead, and I cried so hard, FYI, when I can never watch the scene again, I don't think. I think I'm like scarred for life. So
yeah.
There, I loved you in The Alienist a lot. I loved that so much. And Miss Marvel, oh my God, do I love that show. So I'm like keeping my fingers crossed for you for season 2, but you were so good in it. The message that it has, and like the various things that you can learn from it, and the layers, you can watch it and have a really good time. You don't have to go watch it and learn things. You could watch it and have a really good time, watch it for entertainment purposes, or watch it and learn from it. And there's a lot of stuff.
You should watch it and learn from it. You shouldn't just watch it for fun. You should watch it and learn some stuff. Because I'll say one quick thing. I've learned so much from being on set and watching it. And it's for the better. Trust me. You grow as a person.
Yeah, 100%. It's such a fantastic show. So keeping our fingers crossed. Follow him on Instagram. Watch all the stuff on streaming. Check out Miss Marvel, and you'll find him as Bruno in the 6 episodes. It was like a limited series that they released. It should be in Disney Plus, if I'm not mistaken.
Disney Plus. Yep.
So, yeah, so you can go check it out there. And you know, let's just keep our fingers crossed. And this is it. You've reached the end. You survived. You made it.
I survived. I made it.
Yeah, you survived. And I want to thank you so much for coming on. And like I said, I just adore you. And I cannot wait to see what else you do. And I told your sister the same thing. When you guys accept your Oscars, because I feel like this happens in a sibling, you have to remember me and go like, oh yeah, that girl that interviewed me like 20 years ago or like 10 years ago. I got to thank her. She loved me. Yeah. So, or when you go up there, at least be like, the Matt Linz one. Like, you gotta say,
oh gosh, the Matt Linz. Oh.
Thank you so much for joining me. I just adore you. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And I just think you're amazing. And that's it.
No, you're amazing. No, I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to Matt Linz talk about what it was like working on The Walking Dead, and of course his latest miniseries, Mrs. Marvel. If you want to check out The Walking Dead, all of the episodes are available on AMC and AMC Plus, so head over there to check it out. And if you're behind and you want to check out Mrs. Marvel, head over to Disney Plus, and you can stream all of the episodes of the seasons there. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you're updated on all of our latest podcasts, and head over to our YouTube channel, hit subscribe so you're updated on all of our video content.